time this morning, haven't we? Yes. Okay, and so we're looking at autism, yes? And for the people who just arrived, I'm saying, and we've said to the church before, God says, what have you got in your hand? So we are supposed to use what God has given to us in our hands, which are our roles within the community. We're supposed to use that to bless God. We're supposed to use that in God's work. So I'm a special needs coordinator, and it's a joy to be doing it in my own churches and not just in schools. Do you understand what I'm saying? God gave me this knowledge, not man. God gave me this, not anybody else. Okay, so we're going to go on to the Menti board, that orange screen. So remember, you all had put, so we were supposed to list a characteristic of autism, yeah? And so we're going to look at what was it that was inputted on that. Yes, so we looked at it, we said, what are some of the characteristics? Yes, and there were sensory characteristics there. So our children with autism may be sensitive to sound. They may be sensitive to food. Yeah? They may be sensitive to smells as well. So sometimes they will come into classrooms or into church and they become agitated because of some smell or perfumes that's within the room. The noise as well can be a problem for them. Yeah? So that is one thing. They can be anxious. They'll be stimming. Yeah? They may have speech challenges because they want to say, they want to communicate with us. But if we do not give the patience, if we don't give them the patience to communicate or learn to understand what is happening, yeah, it will be very frustrating. Okay? Another thing is that our children can be very intelligent, and I'll show you that as we go through the PowerPoint as well. Okay? And alongside the autism as well, there may be some other co-occurring things happening. So some people may have a bit of ADHD as well. Okay? Some may also have, and we spoke about speech and language as well. Okay? So thank you for adding those to my Menti board. That's what we produced when you did that, when you did the QR code, okay? So we'll go back to our PowerPoint. Thank you, gentlemen. Oh, your media team is fantastic. Hallelujah. Lads, thank you so much. You're doing such a good job. Okay? Yes, so I'll change that for you. If I turn my pointer on, I can change it. Yes, so what is autism? It can happen, it's a neurological condition, it's not a disorder. We have to, the word that is bandied around is neurodiverse, neurodiversity. Children or adults, and you may find that adults also, and actually every one of us have a touch with us, everybody. Who likes the toothpaste? Who likes when the toothpaste is squeezed in a certain way? Put your hand up. Who hates when the toilet paper is turned, and it's not rolling in the right way? Who likes when the pencils are all the points are set in a certain way? Yeah? Who gets up every morning and make the bed and can't stand when it's not made properly? Who has to order their life? You know, you have to get up and organize. And if one thing is out of place, it's like you're just like, you know, there is a touch of special needs in all of us, whether you think it or not. And some people shows it more than others. There are lots of people nowadays who are learning that they've had ADHD, but they're now just finding out. Yeah? But the point is that they managed it all this time, and that's what we need to do. We need to learn to manage what is happening to us. That's the knowledge God has given us, to manage what is going on, so it doesn't destroy our lives. But some people have more of it than others, and so we have to help, if that makes sense. Okay? So, you know, with autism and social emotional mental health, it's not like you are in a wheelchair. It's a something hidden. Sometimes it's the way, no, it's not most times, it's the way we behave why people know that there is something different going on there. Okay? Are we there? Are we understanding each other, church? Yes. Yeah? But one thing that you need to understand is the relationship that you have with the child or the people around you. Relationship is very, very important. Very important. And I've learned that as a teacher, and I also learned it as a foster parent as well. Okay? Very important. And autism is it's growing, it's increasing. It's increasing because of the world around us. And also, they've given many reasons why this is increasing. So we'll have more of it happening in our churches, and we need to learn how to manage. Okay? So we'll move on. Okay, I'm going backwards there. Right. Okay, now we spoke about the 4 areas of special needs, and I thought they were very important for me to just give you some ideas to what occurs with these. So cognition learning, you have a dyslexia, you have a severe learning disabilities, you have the MLD or mild learning disability, dyscalculia. Yeah, I'm just going through fast. Social emotional mental health, you'll have your depression, PDA, or pathological demand avoidance. No, I'm not doing it. You know? And so, and I know some people, and I used to be exactly like you, saying, nah, him bad. He's a bad child, and that's it. A lot of times we say that. Yeah? But there may be something happening there. There may be something there. So we have to look into it. Okay? And this is where your school may come in as well. Anxiety disorder, so that's one. And then we have a communication interaction with speech and language and communication needs and autism. And then we have the visual. So that's what the 4 areas look like. Okay? Some people may know this already. And if you do, learn that you need to use that knowledge to help each other. Okay? So if you know already, please start using it. And these are some people who are there who can help. Now, in churches, we have the possibilities lead. Okay? Because that SEND is now included within possibilities. In your school, it's your SENCO. Okay? Right. What is autism? We looked at some aspects of it. They have a difficulty to understand others, to give eye contact. Don't expect our, and I hate saying them, don't expect our children or adults to be as affectionate as everybody else. They're not going to be. They don't understand how to be. You who understand it need to treat them, need to be understanding and behave in an appropriate manner. And our children will hit us, yeah? but they don't really understand why they're doing it. They know they want this paper, and you're keeping it from them. They don't sometimes understand why they're hitting you, to be honest with you. They don't. Because the brain is working very different from everybody else's. Just remember that. It's working different from the others. It's not that they hate you while it's happening. But at that point in time, the sensory aspect of him is saying, I want this, and why am I not getting it? And that is what happens with them. Yeah? There are times when one of my boys, he comes out. The other day we were walking along, and he says to me, he says, love your neighbor. That means I need to love my neighbor. I need to love, like our neighbor was I'll give her a different name, say Jean. And he says, I am supposed to love Jean. Because it says in the Bible, you're supposed to love your neighbor. His brother turned to him and says, it means you need to love everybody. That's what it means. But for him, I'm supposed to love my neighbor because my neighbor lives beside me. Does that make sense? Yeah? That's our thought process there. Yeah? The social rules as well. Sometimes I've had children come up and they play with my hair within the class. They'll come and you're standing there and they're staring in your face in this way. Your face, their face is this from yours. Yes, no, there's nothing called social distancing there. They're not being rude. They're not being rude, but you have to nicely and kindly, maybe just distract a bit. Yeah? But one thing you know is that when they want to move this pen to there, they're going to do everything to get that pen where they want it. And I always say to my staff, as much as they want to move that pen there, if it's to be moved to this end, you have to use the same consistency and put it where you want it. Because it's consistency from everybody that's going to help. We have to be consistent. We can't do it one day and not the next. And that's why it's very difficult for parents and tiring sometimes. And at times parents will feel as if they're on their own because nobody else understands. Yeah? As we spoke about sensory sensitivities before, fixed way of thinking and behaving, difficulty imagining things that haven't happened yet in the future. They are imagining things. They will have a special, I'll go back, they will have a special interest. Some, it's language that they like. Some people, they like trains or planes. That's their special interest. Some people are music. Yeah? But there's a place for our autistic children and people. There's a place for them. Because you'll find that people who are very analytic, very into the data, there's something there. Because they're not moving until they solve that problem. Or they find that mathematical equation or find the answer. They're very data driven. They've got to find it. So what we can do is once we know what the talent is, we can make sure we shift them into that. That's what we can do. Yeah? Okay, and I'm going to move. So we did speak a bit about sensory, which is part of maybe one of the biggest issues that our autistic children may have. They may have sensory joy for seeing certain colors, feeling certain fabrics. Yeah? They'll be sensitive to lighting, touch. Some people, they don't want to be touched. We spoke about noise. They may dislike certain colors. And we spoke about smells and food. And their pain threshold is it can be very, very high. So wherein you might be hit with something that you and I will scream for, they may not. And so sometimes we really need to keep a watch, because something bad may have happened, but they may not have noticed, because the pain threshold is so high. Yeah? Yeah, well, they won't be reading that body language and the gesture. That is not there at all. Yes, so sometimes when you say, you have to say stop quite a long time. Some things you have to give it in pictures. Yeah, like for some of my students, I had to say to parents, in the mornings you have to give them a picture of what they need to do. What comes first? You brush your teeth. You get up you get up, you brush your teeth, you put your shirt on first, you put your pants on second, you put your this on. That's how you have to do it, step by step, for them to understand. So using pictures as well is very, very important. Okay? And they may have difficulty maintaining relationships, but it doesn't mean that they don't want relationships. So we have to extend that understanding. Sis, you may have to tell me when my time is up. Okay? I should also say that this afternoon, there'll be mainly question and answer. So please, if you have questions, please write them down so that we can address them in the afternoon, okay? As well. Okay? They may find sharing and taking turns difficult, very selfish. They want to play their own game. I'm interested in playing cards, and no, we're not going to be doing anything else, because it's only cards I want to play at the minute. But they don't understand it, you see. So we have to teach them what to do. I'll give you an instance. I had there were year 9 boys at the time, and they were out playing football. And this one, he decided that he didn't want to play football, he wanted to play something else. So the boys created a team and placed him in the goal. And what did he do? He stood like this. In the goal, because that's not what he wanted to do. And they kicked and the other team won, because he decided that he is not doing anything. Him is not stopping, because that's not what he wanted to play. The other team won. And when the team won, you know how boys in football are. They were hitting him. So there was another autistic boy now on the other team. And so what he did, he went on top of him, holding him. So the one who was in question was saying, yes, and Jim held me down. And Jim says, so he said, why did you hold him down? He said, Miss, in his own autistic way, if I didn't hold him down, he kept getting up and they kept hitting him. So I had to hold him for him to stay where he is. Do you see what I'm saying? When the teacher took him now, one of the pastoral leads who understood, took him, the one who was in the goal, and said, what game do you like to play? He says, oh, I like playing roadblocks. And she said, so when you're playing roadblocks, and John comes and hits your hand, and every time you get to do it, hit your hand, how would you feel? Oh, very upset. I'm playing my road and I love my game. And he comes and hits your hand again. Oh, and he hits you. I said, how do you feel? Oh, so upset, you shouldn't be hitting me, you shouldn't be, because I want to play my game. She said that's exactly how they felt at football. When you stood in the goal, because they loved their football, but you stood in the goal and you thought, I don't want to play, so I don't know why they put me here in the first place. And all the goals passed you. And he said, oh! She said, yes, that's exactly how they felt. Do you understand? Yeah. So, you know, and autistic people interpret language very literally. So if you say, pull your socks up, he's going to pull his socks up. He's not going to change his behavior. That's what you said to do, pull your socks up. Just like my boy says, oh, yeah, we're supposed to love our neighbour. I'm supposed to love Jill next door. Do you understand? Literally so. And then he was reminded, it means everybody. Yeah, everybody. Yeah. Support in the community. When there's calm, we need to be calm in a crisis. When our children are distressed, we cannot frown upon them. We must support individuals because ASC is a hidden disability. We cannot use ambiguous words or literal words. We must lessen noise and dim lighting, and we need to celebrate their interests. And we need to use kind voices. We must always de-escalate. Because let's face it, and I used to say this to my other students as well, and sometimes, you know, when I get angry, I'm thinking, in my head I'm thinking, no, all right, Yvette. So you're angry, you ain't gonna win this. I said, Lord, why did I start this in the first place? Because I'm not gonna win. Because I have to de-escalate and pick it up later. Does that make sense? Because I am going higher and he's going higher. Who is gonna win? Nobody. Where is that higher gonna take him? And where's the higher gonna take me? So as the adult, you've got to break it down and calm down and pick it up at another time. And I'm sure all the things that I'm telling you, Christ has asked us to do them, hasn't he? Create a relationship. Yeah? In the churches, it would be good for us to use timers sometimes. It would be good to use a now and next board. So now we're doing this, and next we're doing that. Does that make sense? So that they know what is to come. Because sometimes the problem is routine. My son, when he was little, you know how us women are. Oh, come on, we're going shopping now. And I'd have a job getting him out of the house. A job getting him out of the house because what? Me and my impulsivity jump up. Oh, we're going shopping now. I didn't prepare him for the shopping. So I had to, and it took me a few times to learn that. So now I had to stop. Sometimes my daughter says, Mom, you know how he is already. So you shouldn't have said it. So I have to back down and start. Because we make mistakes, you know. We make mistakes. So I have to back down now and start telling them beforehand what is it that's going to happen. Sometimes, if you're going on a holiday, show them where you're going over and over again. Show them that you're going to pack a bag. Show them what needs to be taken. You know, it's a lot. But it creates that relationship with the child. We have to just do things before, you know, take time. So, within church, work at the child's pace. So if school has created a plan for them, use it in church. Yeah? Don't use ambiguous words or idioms. Yes? Provide a sensory room. maybe something pop-up or stationary. Have a room wherein parents can take their children when they get distressed. And parents can still hear the sermon. Yeah? And provide sensory toys as well. And there's more that we could add to that. And it goes back to, the support that is there as well. And any questions. And thank you for listening.
Amen.
Okay? And please.